Today we're going to demonstrate how to do a manual PD exchange using a manual Stay Safe bag. That bag looks like the dialysate fluid paired with the drain bag and the disc. So before you start your exchange, you'll put your mask on. You're going to shut the door. We need to start by wiping all of our work surfaces and equipment down with a bleach solution. At home, you have a canister of bleach wipes, like a Clorox wipe container. Here I have pre-moistened bleach towelettes. You're gonna need your IV pole. And I'm gonna wipe every single surface that I could possibly touch. This scale needs to be wiped as well. Okay. All the knobs need to be wiped down. Get in between any little crevices. Make sure you're wiping inside where the caps go. And it's really important to wipe the front of the organizer off. Okay, we're gonna wipe down our work surfaces. So you might have a small table at home that you use on this side of your chair. Okay, I like to wipe the handles down on my little cart that would have supplies in it. We're gonna wipe down our sink. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now I'm going to perform a 1-minute hand wash. It's very important that you make sure your mask is on before you wash your hands for 60 seconds. When you're washing your hands, you want to make sure that you create a lather that covers the top sides of your hands and wrists, the palmar surfaces, and the tops of your hands in between the fingers. Best practice is to remove any rings or jewelry, but if you cannot take your jewelry off, you'll want to make sure that you get underneath your rings. Rub your fingernails on the inside of your palms to get the soap up under your fingernails. Next, you're going to rinse all of the soap off of your hands and wrists. You should have a roll of disposable towels next to your sink. You'll grab the towels. You'll thoroughly dry your hands in between all the fingers, underneath the nails, underneath your rings. And then you're going to use the paper towel to shut off the sink handle. Now it's important to note about your organizer here. This white piece of plastic here is called an organizer. Note that it says drain, flush, fill, pin, close. There's also labels for where your catheter goes and the new cap goes. Many of you might be familiar with seeing a blue disc in where the organizer is. If this is the case, you need to take that disc and you need to pop out the blue piece on the back. This is what your organizer should look like to do a manual. This is what your organizer will look like on your machine. Okay, take a little hand sanitizer. Now we're going to gather our supplies for treatment. Your dialysis bag right here should have been sitting on your heating pad for at least an hour to an hour and a half. When When you touch the solution, it should not feel hot on your hands. It should feel body temperature, nothing hotter. Okay. The supplies you'll need for a manual exchange are a blue pad. We need 2 pieces of non-sterile gauze. You need a new cap. You'll need tape to tape your catheter up at the end of treatment. And we'll need the blue solution, Alcavis 50. This is for dialysis disinfectant for catheters, caps, and connectors. You'll take the cap off of the solution, and you want to soak 2 of those pads with the Alcavis. You'll take your new cap, punch it out of the paper, and we're going to put the new cap in the new cap spot. There are 2 notches on the cap. These coincide with about 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock on the organizer, so it just slides right in. Don't twist the cap any direction, just slide it right in. Okay, now that we've got our materials for treatment, we're going to open our dialysis bags. There are notches at the top of the bag that we will tear down. Okay, it's important that you check your bag for solution strength, clarity, amount, leaks, and expiration date. Okay, this is a 4.25% dextrose bag. There's 2,000 milliliters in this bag. It expires August 2022. If I squeeze the bag, there aren't any visible leaks. And if I look through the bag, it's nice and clear without any sediment. Okay? You'll take the bag and grab it with one hand. Then you'll grab the other bag and peel down. Leave it just like this when you hang it on the IV pole. Okay? Hang the bag. Then you're going to grab the dial in one hand, and you're going to grab the drain bag with the other hand, and you're just going to pull away and untangle all of the tubing. This drain bag goes on the floor. This disc has a plastic protector on it. To remove this red plastic protector, because it will not fit in your organizer without it off, you need to move the blue arrow counterclockwise, and then you pull off the red piece or whatever color bag you're using. This piece goes in the garbage, and now our disc fits into the organizer like so. Okay, you're now ready to begin your treatment. I'm going to be demonstrating with a dummy belly bag here. Okay, and we are going to pretend that I am the patient. Okay, at this point, we need to take our catheter out from underneath the tape. Once you remove all the tape out and expose your catheter like this, you'll need to hand sanitize. Again, once you take the tape off of your catheter, please hand sanitize. You will take the end of your catheter, take one of the soaked gauze pads, and you're going to clean from the tip of the blue connector, focusing on where the clear cap meets the blue, and you're going to make a pass all the way down the catheter, including the clamp. You're going to grab your second clean gauze, and you're going to focus back where your fingers were touching on the end of the connector. Okay? Then you will take the end of your catheter, and this goes in the extension spot. We are going to work from right to left. Immediately before you connect to do your manual exchange, you need to make sure your mask is on, the door is shut, air is off, no pets in the room. Anybody else in the room with you needs to have a mask on. Windows are shut and the air is not running. Immediately before you connect, we are going to make sure our hands are the cleanest they can possibly be. So I'm going to take hand sanitizer and make sure that I coat all surfaces of my hand. You're going to want to remove your target cap first. Removing caps is a counterclockwise twisting motion. Take your catheter, counterclockwise twist, make your connection. Take the cap cover from the middle connector here, and you're going to take this cap cover, place it on the old cap, and remove it. This is now garbage. Okay, once you're connected, you will open your clamp. You need to move the disc and organizer below the level of your abdomen. And you need to wait for the bag to complete, or for the drain bag to drain your belly out. Okay. It should look like rain coming down a window. Okay. Draining a full belly usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes. You may feel at the end of your drain you need to start rocking. You may need to stand up and move side to side to wiggle out any fluid that would be remaining in your belly. Once that you feel you've removed all of the fluid out of your belly, you need to weigh what came out in the drain bag. Make sure your scale is at 0. You're going to take the drain bag with the tubing side up, and you are going to weigh the bag. Okay? You're going to use the gram side, and that's going to equal milliliters. So this bag that I've drained out, about 350 milliliters for an example. Okay? Once you've drained out, the next step we're going to do is we are going to flush this line. We're going to remove the air out of this line, and we're going to fill it with clean solution. There is a plastic frangible cone up near the neck of the bag that we have to break. We're going to grab onto the bag with our hand, and the other hand is going to grab onto the plastic cone. Then you need to snap that back and forth, spin it to make sure that it's disconnected. We're on drain. We are going to move the dial to flush for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Then we are going to move it to the solid dot on the fill stage. At this point, we need to have the disc and the Stay Safe organizer above the level of our abdomen so that the bag can fill your belly to gravity. Okay, depending on your prescription, you might be putting a whole bag in, you might be putting half a bag in. Your bag might be more than 2,000 milliliters, depending on your prescription. Let's say we were going to put a certain amount into our abdomen. You're going to make sure that your scale is on 0. You're going to take the bag and you're going to hang it on the scale. Okay? If you have an order to put in 1,000 milliliters, let's say, you're going to watch the notch on the scale move up from 2,000 up to 1,000. Okay? Your home therapies nurse will teach you how to do this. Okay? Once you've filled with the correct amount of solution, or if you needed to put the entire bag into your belly, you need to move from fill all the way clockwise to the last solid dot. You need to make sure you move it all the way over and then it stops. Then you need to clamp your catheter. And at this point, we need to make sure that our mask is on, Door is shut, air is off, pets are out of the room, everybody else is masked up, windows are shut. We need to make sure our hands are as clean as they possibly be before we remove the new cap. Okay, you're going to start with your target cap removal first. It's a counterclockwise twisting motion. Then you're going to take your catheter. Note that there's a blue pin to pop the iodine pad. It's a push and twist at the same time. So you have to push in and twist. Then you pull back to withdraw your catheter. We'll take this old cap and cap our manual. This entire apparatus here will get taken and drained into the toilet. To drain both of your solution bags into the toilet, remove the disc from the organizer, place it under your toilet lid, remove the cap, and move the dial back to 2. Okay, once the bags are both drained into the toilet, then you can take this whole manual exchange and throw it into the garbage. Now, depending on what your prescription is, you will leave the fluid in your abdomen for the amount of time that your dialysis nurse tells you to. And then when you're ready, you will perform another manual exchange.